Hello, children. How are you all? I hope you are all doing well. You are fit as fiddle. In this session, we will deal with the second chapter of the supplementary reader Vistas. Do you know, children, in which year Royal Bengal tiger was declared as the national animal of our country? It happened in the year 1973. Under the Project Tiger, that was commenced under the leadership of the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. And before that, lion was our nation animal. And why suddenly it changed to tiger? The main aim of this project was to ensure a viable population of Bengal tigers in their natural habitats and also to protect them from extinction. Children, a nation animal is generally selected on the basis of the rich heritage and culture of a particular country. But in this case, in our country, Royal Bengal tiger was chosen as the national animal because its population was decreasing, it was dwindling day by day because of the illegal poaching, illegal killing of these animals, these big cats, for the sake of glory, for the sake of personal greed. Here, a few important facts have been given regarding the tiger reserves that were developed under the Project Tiger. And at present, our country possesses 50 tiger reserves. And because of the fruitful success of this project, now we have actually a viable number of tigers in our country so that we can be proud of our national animal. This story, the upcoming story that we are going to deal in this session, also takes us to the era where kings, just to show their bravery, just to practice their fighting skills, they would choose these innocent animals to kill them, to show their bravery acts. Actually, it is an illegal practice that shouldn't be done, that shouldn't be practiced by a ruler. Because for a ruler, either it's human beings or animals, all are equal, all come under his jurisdiction. The Tiger King, this is the title of the chapter. It is written by Ramaswamy Krishnamurti under the pen name Kalki. He would not use his original name in his writings, rather, he would use his pen name, a specific name that he uses only during writing any novel, any story writing, or any columns for the newspaper. Now, coming to the themes of the stories. The common themes that run across this story are transience of life and power. Transience means the state of lasting for short time. Whether it is our life or power, they all are short term. They are not permanent. It is a satire on the pride and stubbornness of those people who are in power. In this story, who is in the power? The ruler, the king. It is a satire on the pride and stubbornness. Satire is a literary technique that is used to expose the foibles or the follies of the society in an exaggerated way. It is generally done using sarcasm, humorous jokes, and irony. It also shows autocratic and eccentric kings, how they were varied, how they were odd and cranky in their behavior, and how they were autocratic in their ruling. This story also gives an earnest plea and appeal for the protection of tigers. Maharaja Jangjang Bahadur of Pratibandhapuram. He is the main protagonist of this story. Another major character of the story is royal astrologer who had proclaimed the king's death. A miracle happened in the palace. What was that miracle? That the 10-day-old prince, he asked an intelligent question. What was the question? He asked the source and manner of his death. When astrologer proclaimed, when he declared that the king will die someday, so he told that everybody who takes birth will die someday. But he actually wanted to know the manner, in which manner he was going to be killed. And when this question was asked, the astrologer replied that he was born in the hour of bull. So, as bull and tiger both are enemies to each other, so king will be killed by a tiger. When the 10-day-old prince heard this prophecy, he challenged astrologer's prediction and he cautioned all the tigers, let tigers beware, that they should be beware of the king. And just to challenge, just to belie the prediction made by the astrologer, he took up unrestrained. Maharaja Jangjang Bahadur of Pratibandhapuram. He is the main protagonist of this story. Another major character of the story is royal astrologer who had proclaimed the king's death. A miracle happened in the palace. What was that miracle? That the 10-day-old prince, he asked an intelligent question. What was the question? He asked the source and manner of his death. When astrologer proclaimed, when he declared that the king will die someday, so he told that everybody who takes birth will die someday. But he actually wanted to know the manner, in which manner he was going to be killed. And when this question was asked, the astrologer replied that he was born in the hour of bull. So, as bull and tiger both are enemies to each other, so king will be killed by a tiger. When the 10-day-old prince heard this prophecy, he challenged astrologer's prediction and he cautioned all the tigers, let tigers beware, that they should be beware of the king. And just to challenge, just to belie the prediction made by the astrologer, he took up unrestrained tiger killing. When he killed the first tiger, he sent message to the astrologer. Upon that, the astrologer warned him that he may kill as many tigers he can, but he should be beware of the 100th tiger. He can kill 99 tigers, but he should be very watchful of the 100th tiger. Just to fulfill his wish, his all the whimsical fancies, he married a girl only to achieve his target. As he went on a killing spree, the population of tigers, they reduced to zero in his kingdom. So what he did, he married a girl who belonged to a royal family and whose family is located in a state with a large number of tiger population. Not only that, to achieve his target of 100 tiger, he banned tiger killing in his own kingdom. Only he was allowed to hunt. No other person was allowed to go for hunting. But doing all these things, after doing so many things also, he was not able to achieve his target of killing 100 tiger. He was so cranky that after putting a ban, once a British officer, Dorai, he also wanted to kill a tiger. But he refused. The Tiger King refused him. Even he did not allow him to click a photograph with the carcass of the dead tiger. That also was not allowed. And later on, he wanted to save his kingdom also from the British hands, because that time our country was under British rule. So what he did, he sent diamond rings as a gift to the Durai Sani, the good lady, the great good lady of the British officer, the wife of British officer. And what did she do? She kept all the 50 diamond rings with her and sent a thank you note to the prince. He somehow, after all these hurdles, after all these obstacles, somehow he managed to kill 99 tigers. But what happened to the 100th tiger? Let's see. Now, coming to the Tiger King's quest for tigers. What he did, as I already explained you, that he has wasted time, he had wasted manpower, he had wasted money and energy just to achieve his target, just to belie the prediction of the astrologer, just to disapprove the prophecy made by the astrologer. He wasted time. He did not pay any attention to any other subject of his kingdom, because all other things had become secondary in his life. The primary thing, the most important thing that was left in his life was killing all the tigers so that he should not be killed by the tiger. It happened in Mahabharata also, children. You might have seen in that serial or in Lord Krishna that King Kansa, he was also prophesied that he would be killed by the eighth child of his sister Devaki. So what did he do? He sent Devaki and her husband Vasudev behind the bars, and if any child was born, he would kill them brutally. But it was destiny, it was all God's grace that somehow the seventh child was taken into the womb of Rohini, and he was born as Balram. And the eighth child, he miraculously escaped from the brutal hands of the king, and he reached to another village, and he was born as Lord Krishna. And finally Lord Krishna had killed his maternal uncle Kansa. Here also, let's see whether the Tiger King will be killed by the tiger or not. When it came to the 100th tiger, that was the time when there was no tiger left either in his kingdom or any nearby area. 100th tiger was not to be found anywhere, and that time Diwan Sahib was called by the king, and he was warned by him that somehow he had to bring forth some one tiger just to achieve his sanctuary. Diwan, he had a tiger at home. How he managed? He brought the tiger from People's Park in Madras, and he put that tiger very skillfully, slyly. He kept that tiger in the forest, and that tiger was very weak. And just at the shot of the bullet, that tiger fainted. It collapsed, and King thought that finally he had killed the 100th tiger, but actually it was not the case. Actually, he had missed the shot of the bullet. The tiger was collapsed. He was not killed. Again, it the tiger was killed by the hunters, by the minions, by the servants of the king, because they wanted to make the eccentric king happy at any cost. Otherwise, their lives would be in danger. That was the sycophancy that has been exposed by the writer to the characters of these hunters or these minions or all the ministers. Now, what happened after the killing of the hunted tiger? Carcass of the tiger was carried in a huge procession with all pomp and show, and he was buried, and a tomb was erected in its memory. So, finally, the Diwan Sahib he proved as a most resourceful person to the king. Now, coming to the Maharaja's death. As death is inevitable, king had to die somehow. Now, how he was killed? It is the irony of fate, you can see. It was the third birthday of his son, king's son. He wanted to celebrate his son's birthday with all fervor, with all kind of pomp and show, because before that he was busy in achieving his target. He did not pay any attention towards his family, towards any other subject in his life. So what did he do? He brought a wooden toy tiger that was made by an unskilled carpenter, and it was rough. The surface was so rough, and when he touched, when he carried, when he hold that wooden tiger in his hand, what happened? A sliver or the splinter. You can see here in the second picture, in the middle picture space, this very thin wooden piece that was not refined, that was not polished actually. It pierced into Maharaja's hand, and because of that piercing, what happened? Infection spread into whole hand, and Tiger King died. The place where the splinter had pierced, there a spirative sore was developed, full of pus and blood, and finally that infection, it has spread into his whole hand, and finally this infection took his life. And birthday gift was proved as the lethal birthday gift. So that was the story, the Tiger King. He was known as the Tiger King because he had killed many tigers, not that he was the savior of the kings. A king actually should be a savior of his kingdom, whether it is human being, whether it's the flora or the fauna, all come under his control. So I hope you have understood the story well. Thank you. Keep learning every day. Goodbye.